Good morning, everybody. Okay, remember I always said that I won't do any more handyman videos only unless there's something really interesting to talk about. Well, this one, this one's interesting. I worked on this house 2 years ago. This is $1 million home in Hazentree. Now, the big problem with Hazentree is this: a lot of sloping land, and it's everywhere. This whole neighborhood is valleys, hills, and all kinds of other stuff, you know, rolling, contouring land. Now, this house went up for sale, and the potential buyers walked away from it. And here are some obvious reasons. Number one, let's go to what I'm fixing. Well, let me say it this way: what I fixed already, and the stuff that I'm up against. I've got a lot of stuff on the interior, but I won't go inside just to show you this. But I have some sheetrock problems and stuff like that. But this has got a lot of drainage issues, and it's draining into the house. The landscaping is horrible. And let me get right down to it. Now, as you can see, this incredibly pitched hill on the side of this house, okay? Like I said, this is $1 million home. And they built, of course, this has got a basement in it. But you can see this retaining wall right here, right? Well, that's where this is a problem, okay? Because what they designed here is this. They put this wooden wall right here. They put this block CMU wall right there, and this grades down, it bumps into this, and then it has to divert here. Only problem is there's so much buildup right here that the water doesn't do that. What the water is doing, it carved out a hole as large as where all these rocks are. Now, there's a gigantic concrete plug in there with wire mesh. I dug down 2.5 feet, almost 3 feet straight down until I was at the bottom of this wall. So I have a big, huge hole. And what's happened, the water's washed into this corner, and then it dug its way slowly over time, a couple years, and you can see the mud over there, slowly carved its way a hole right past this retaining wall and this wooden wall, okay? So I dug it all out, put wire mesh and rebar in there, fill this with 180 pounds of concrete, and then put this rock up here. Now, there's got to be black mulch put up here, but let's go down here and I'll show you the effects. Now, they have this little washout area underneath the steps where this drainage spout is right here, which comes off that gutter. So that's underground, okay? And it goes through here and comes out over here. Okay, this is what I managed to build. This, as you can see, the mud, it carved a hole that big and literally tore this entire corner out. And this part of the hill was literally falling away, okay? There's a wooden retaining wall, which that was loose. It was barely hanging on. So once I plugged, now from here to down there is right at 3.5 feet, okay? So I put this big boulder in here, dug all this out, smashed that boulder in there. They had these rocks, thank God they had these rocks. That one was there, this one was not. So this hill moved away. So once I dug it all out, created my big plug in here, then basically cementing this whole thing in, okay? So that ought to work. The thing that's going to happen is water is going to come up in here, but it's going to hit a gigantic concrete plug underneath here. And you can see the wire mesh in the corner, see it? There it is. See the wire mesh? Okay, that's all the way encapsulating the inside cavity of this, and big, huge, long 3-foot rebars going into the ground. And I punched those into the ground pretty far. And then built this block up, this stone, put the stone there, which that damn thing was shit, 250 pounds, but I got it in there. And then put all these smaller stones and then locked it all in. Okay, that's problem number one. Okay, now, this bottom floor is all basement. This whole thing. It's a huge, it's like 1,000 square foot, just the basement itself. All right, let's go up to problem number two. Like I said, there's a lot of problems inside. A tree fell. This was last year. A tree fell, hit the house, took out their air conditioner, which there's the air conditioners right there. And if you look straight up, it damaged the gutter. So if any of you guys want to do some gutter work, here it is. They need that gutter up there replaced. And it's 45 foot off the ground. Problem is, it's hard to get to. There's a brand new air conditioner. It literally just whacked the hell out of the top of the house. That's how big this tree was. Okay, you can see the damage up there. See it? Right there. Okay, but anyway. If I stick my finger up there, it defocuses the camera. But you can see this huge hill. And there's a big old oak tree down there in the woods that fell. They said that thing was 100 foot tall, 80 foot tall, whatever. Once it fell, it hit the house. Okay, let's go up here to problem number two. And actually, there's several problems up here, but let's get to the main one. Number one, the steps are falling away and sinking. They had somebody come up here and do some patchwork, which that didn't work. And you can see all the cracks. See all the cracks? They're just busting away again. Because what's happening here is these steps are sinking. Okay? In fact, you can even feel it when you walk down the steps like you're walking down a hill. And here's another problem. It's pulling away, literally pulling away from the main step-up area, where the pad up here, and you see it's actually ripping it away. Now, I told her best thing to do is get ramjack in here so they can cut the concrete away from the steps, and put their injector pumps underneath this thing and inject it up in the air, and that should be good. Well, this house failed inspection. That's why the buyers walked away from it. There were too many problems. Now, in the basement, here's a classic problem with the way they build houses in Raleigh, and probably everywhere else too. The basement has got a leak in it, and it's coming right here. You can see the top edge of the foundation wall for the basement, and then it's buried under 6 inches of topsoil, and you can see where the topsoil comes all the way up to here. So over time, and this has got any kind of protection, no kind of a rubber coat, bond coat, water barrier coat, anything. And you can actually see the water coming up, going through the basement at the top, and it's soaking all the boards that are on the top of the CMU block on the top of the basement wall. And it's also discoloring the sheathing behind this block right here. There's a big dark spot in the basement right here, okay? So I'm gonna have to talk to the homeowner about this, because this whole thing's gotta be dug out on this edge. And I told her really what needs to happen here in reality is that the way they put all these stupid bushes in here and the way they got this graded, because the water comes from the top up here. Everything flows this way because it's all graded You can see it. It all grades this way. See, the water runs this way. But then the sidewalk, the steps and everything traps the water. And then they backfilled all this soil into here, higher than the basement line, the CMU top block, and it's getting past all this stonework because there's no barrier, there's no, like I said, no rubber coating. There's nothing preventing the water from just seeping through the cement, the block, this fascia rock, and it's just literally bleeding into the basement. So this is the kind of problems I see around here all the time. There's too much dirt in here, number one. It's way too high. There's nowhere for the water to escape once it hits this corner. So the water's been going underground, soaking underground, and it dropped that entire step from just sheer saturation. And then you can see it goes downhill real quick. I mean, hell, you know, you're talking at least 15 foot worth of fall going that way. So there's the problem. This is crazy. Anyway, this is the kind of stuff I see all the time. And I told her I'll do what I can to fix this, or at least patch it as best I can, and then go from there. Good morning, everybody. Okay, another interesting, silly job that pays well. This is going to pay because I already told her, I said, there's no way I can give you an estimate on this. So I'm going to just do what I got to do. I'll show you what the results are. I'll show you what my fixes are, the way I'm handling, you know, the patchwork and the repair. And I kind of explained what I've got to do anyway to her. I didn't sugarcoat this one. I just said there's a lot of problems here, and a lot of it has to do with the original builder. And being that this neighborhood is very high dollar, it's on a major golf course, signature golf course, and they're still building houses left and right, building them down in valleys and all kinds of different stuff. But the thing is, they never ever consider water drainage. Water drainage is like the number one thing that will destroy a house if it's done incorrectly, and there's no consideration for the way water will work its magic when it hits concrete and any kind of barrier like a house foundation, a basement. The water's got to go somewhere. And you know what's really a bitch is that Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we got torrential rains coming here to North Carolina. It rained half a day yesterday, so I worked inside, got a lot of the sheetrock work done, and then I started coming outside and trying to fix that corner, and I literally just worked in the rain. I said, shit, I got to put those rocks up there. I got to do everything I can to figure it all out. I'm back here this morning. It's a beautiful day. It's a little cold, but no big deal. But when it comes to construction, and it comes to building, and it comes to design work, and it comes to, you know, just foundation placement and water, retention, and anything that has to deal with the disbursement of water somewhere, you guys got to really think your way through it, you know. And I'm telling you, I know for a fact that these houses, and you can see them over there, they're all $1 million homes over on this side of Toll Brothers. And I know they all have issues. They all have issues. So here we go again. But I thought I'd show you this. Like I said, if it's something really interesting, I'll give you guys a heads up on it. I'm busy. I'm already booked out for the next week. I got to deal with this place for the next couple of days, and then go to the next job. I got to go look at a deck at 1 o'clock today, so I'll take lunch and go look at this deck that's got some serious problems, and that's in Wakefield. And that's just the way it goes around here, folks. Everything's a problem. Poor construction, lousy craftsmanship, trying to build them too fast. They don't consider erosion issues an issue. They don't consider water an issue until it becomes an issue. And then you know what the bitch is? This really sucks. That a house like this only has a 1-year warranty. All right, guys, let me get out of here. Love you. You know what to do. Leave those comments, share, like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later.